Good morning to our three fans from the Monday Movie Club. This year, we're focusing on films that are celebrating their 25th anniversary. Every first Monday of the month, we're going to watch another film from 1998. This week, we watched our fourth Best Picture nominee, Life is Beautiful, which actually premiered in Italy in 1997, but didn't premiere in the United States till 1998, and we're all that matters. I'm Frank Gaffney. Here with me is Fenster in his kitchen. Don't look at all the stuff in the background.
You can look at it.
Andy King with a very colorful jacket on there. Nice. Mark Wochitz Gartner does not have a picture up. I don't know if that's indicative. Is that a word?
Indicative
of his feeling for the movie. We'll find out. And COVID and Cringer, because Amy Goldman has the COVIDs and Cringer doesn't. Cats can't get COVID, right?
Oh, they
And
can.
me, wait, look at my beautiful shirt.
Oh, I love it.
Aw,
Wait,
That's
How
cute.
funny is that?
It's
How's
both
a lot of-
Darren's.
it's a lot of dick on your shirt there.
Wow. I just thought it was hysterical that they were like, huh?
Huh?
Okay, so in Life is Beautiful, Roberto Benigni is Guido, an Italian waiter, and his wife and son become victims of the Holocaust. And Guido uses a mixture of will, humor, and imagination to protect his son from the horrors of the concentration camp. The film won the Grand Prix at the Cannes Film Festival. Is that different from the Palme d'Or? The Grand Prix?
I would assume so.
Yes, it's a different award.
Is one better than the other?
Palme d'Or is the big one.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the Grand Prix is what?
the next one down.
The car race.
Yeah.
And Roberto Benigni was only the fourth person to be nominated for Oscars in the same year for Best Actor, Director, and Screenplay. Joel, you want to tell us the other three?
Oh God.
Ah,
You're making me shift my brain.
a quiz in the morning?
Yeah.
Wait. Is one Mel Gibson from Braveheart?
No,
What are you, insane?
he didn't write.
He did.
Hang on.
Oh, Orson Welles.
Orson
Mhm.
Welles.
Wells,
one.
right? Citizen Kane.
Hang on. I have two dogs that are about to start barking next to me.
They were not nominated.
No, thankfully they're just okay.
All right, Joel.
Stop. Yeah. Let me
Stop
deal
hurting
with them for a second while you know.
The other two, wait, before you go. was
I'm
Woody
here.
Woody Allen for Annie Hall and Warren Beatty for Heaven Can Wait.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Glad you liked it. But Benigni did win for Best Actor and famously jumped up on the seats when he won. And he also won for Foreign Language Film. And when he got up to win the Foreign Language Award, he said, I used up all of my English. Okay. And so all of the first half and very long first half of the movie, it's comedy, really. Much of it silent comedy involving the fate of that much traveled hat. But we see him courting his wife, Dora, who is actually played by his real wife,
Oh,
whatever her name is. What's her name?
Nicoletta Brack Spaghetti. I don't know.
And then they have their son, young Joshua, who is, I think, 5 when they get carted off to the. But only, almost 45 minutes into the movie do we actually find out that Guido is also Jewish and being Italian and Jewish. Right. And so once they're taken to the camp, Guido tells his 5-year-old son that they're playing this elaborate game to win a tank. And that is really where the movie kind of falters for me. Because, I mean, starting with him translating what the German guy is saying, that would not go on for 5 minutes. I mean, somebody would be like, that's not what he's saying, shut up, whatever. So it was ridiculous. So it stretches credibility to the max. And honestly, I think his deception wouldn't even work for a day, but okay, fine. But I read that Mel Brooks hated that part of the movie because he felt, he made fun of the Nazis themselves, but he never made jokes about their what they did to people, their actions, or the concentration camps. For him, that was bad taste, even for Mel Brooks. And if Mel Brooks thinks something is in bad taste, he's so I'm kind of with Mel a little bit on this because I felt it really trivialized the atrocities for the sake of comedy. And for me, that's a little unacceptable. It really tried to soften the Holocaust to make the humor possible in the thing. And, yeah, I get it. It's not really about the Nazis and the death camp. It's about the human spirit and keeping the hopeful out of all the wreckage. And I wrote, and the human conviction or delusion that things will be better for our children than they are right now. I mean, I get that, but there's so much improbability and awkwardness in the second half. I'm like, oh, please, that I couldn't suspend disbelief enough to love this movie. And I don't think Roberto Benigni had enough of the nuance to make the movie successful, or the movie he thinks he was making. And the opera song that he played out the window was the song Ginger sings in Gilligan's Island during the Hamlet, musical Hamlet. I don't know, what's it called? Baccarol or whatever. But that's the song she sings to Gilligan. So I'm going with an unenthusiastic 3 stars. A better director could have pulled it off better. Bracket, see Jojo Rabbit. That would be my comment. All right, Joel, being a fan of a good Holocaust movie, what do you think?
There's a contradiction in terms. I actually don't have, being Jewish, I don't have issues like you and Mel Brooks have with this film.
Mel Brooks is Jewish.
Yes, he is. But I still don't have a problem with the film the way he does. For me, it's not about the Holocaust at all, and it's very much a fable because, quite honestly, if Joshua is 5 by the time they get to that part of the film, and obviously he doesn't exist, Guido and his family would have been thrown into concentration camps well before he courted and met Dora and had a kid. So right away, you're in an alternate version of history that you can kind of ignore and roll with.
Wait, what a minute. So what do you mean? But we didn't even know he was Jewish, so maybe they didn't know he was Jewish.
Yeah, he knew he was Jewish, and I guarantee you that the Italian government knew he was Jewish.
Right. And then his wife is like, I'm not Jewish, but I'm going with my family.
Well, there are people who actually did that during the Holocaust. So again, no strains of credibility there for me. There are families that did not want to be separated. They were interfaith relationships, and things like that unfortunately happened.
Do you think Darth Vader was Jewish? He was German. Darth Vader means dark father in German.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
I saw it on your shirt. All right.
Because it was a clean t-shirt on the top of the pile this morning. That's the only reason I'm wearing this. Look, I will agree that in the hands of a better director, it would be a better film. But I'm not going to, ding
Discount.
it for
Discount.
Yeah, for all that stuff. For me, it is more of, as I said, a fable that deals more with how parents try to protect their children from the horrors of the world. And being a parent, I understand that. You do the best that you can, and he's thrown into an impossible situation where he comes up with an impossibly ridiculous way of trying to protect his son from the reality of what's going on. And it does strain credibility at times because obviously, there should have been, if the other men in the bunk had been, in captivity for a longer time, some of them would have either known German or picked up German to be able to say, hey, that's not what he's saying. But they're all kind of playing along in that sense too. So I give it a little bit of forgiveness there.
Yeah, and the children weren't with the parents.
Exactly. I mean, Joshua, the only children we see are Joshua and then the German children later, that are running around playing hide and seek. I think it's a really good film. It does deserve the Oscars it got, certainly more than Shakespeare in Love, in my opinion. But it's not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen it a few times, and I do enjoy watching it, which is really weird to say for a film that is technically, takes place during the Holocaust. But I think I don't think the humor is distasteful in any way. I don't think it trivializes the Holocaust because it doesn't actually show much of anything that was going on. In the back of your head what's going on, but you never see anything, and they're not actually in a death camp per se. The specific camp that they're in Italy, from what I remember reading, was more of a prisoner of war camp than one of the death camps that were mostly in Poland anyway at the time. So,
But they do say in the movie that they're going to be taken to the showers, and
yes, of
all of
course.
those elements are still.
The little kid was supposed to be taken to the shower.
Yes, but he didn't want to go because he hates taking showers. I got a kid that does that, on a weekly basis. So, but it's a good movie, and I don't want to belabor that point much more than that. But I will give it a solid 3 stars for that. It's definitely worth watching. There are other Holocaust films that teeter on the same kind of attempts at humor. Jojo Rabbit obviously does it much better, but I also don't know that Jojo Rabbit's a Holocaust film as much as it is a film about Hitler and the Nazis. And I know it's hard to unwind those from each other, but you can. This is more in line with Jacob the Liar, which the original film is better than this, I think, but the remake with Robin Williams is lesser than this. And then, of course, the ever famous The Day the Clown Cried, that may finally see the light of day in the next couple of years, since Jerry Lewis passed away and left all the footage that he had to the Library of Congress. So
The Library of Congress is going to put together his movie.
there's enough of it out there that they theoretically could. I mean, if you Google it, there was a documentary on the making of the film in Germany that shows a lot of footage from the film. It'd be interesting to see. I know that people have seen it over the years, and Harry Shearer says it's like one of the worst films he's ever seen. It's so misguided and everything, but at the same time, it's kind of like you want to see that to see how off kilter it really is. So
The other thing I want to say about this movie is that Roberto Benigni never made another movie even approaching this caliber that we got to see in America.
No, he did obviously make other movies, and the strange part is, I think in America, the film he's most famous for after this would be his entry in the Pink Panther series, which is Son of the Pink Panther, which
and his Pinocchio sunk like a rock.
Well, here it did. I mean, he was very popular in his home country. His films did, all his other films did very well there. But, maybe we just don't understand Italian humor.
There you go.
So, we are a country that, hosts a World Series in baseball every year. But other than Canada, who else has teams in it? So,
Annie King, had you seen this movie before?
No, this was my first time, and what a surprise when it was in Italian. I was like, I have to read the subtitles for the entire movie.
Now it's really homework.
Yeah, plus like I couldn't get my TV downstairs to work, and I didn't have it on my bedroom because Danny took the Fire Stick, so I had to watch it from Morgan's room. Luckily, there's a TV that I could watch it from, but hers is like mounted high up. So I had to be like this the entire time watching. I was like, I can't even just listen to it. I have to actually read it. Yeah, I thought it was.
Now this morning you have a crick in your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
if you think about it, of being in a crowded movie theater and having to sit in the front row.
Yeah.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. That's the theater experience right there.
Which I try to avoid front row. But yeah, no, it was cute. The beginning was very long, and I kept saying, when is the concentration camp part, So I felt that was kind of a little long, and a bit improbable, right? All the things like playing the opera, and I just wasn't expecting the ending though. I really did not expect that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, because I was like, what? That's it? Yeah, that was, you know,
Well, I think that also speaks, like Joel said, to the extremes that parents will go to protect their children.
yes, but they were this close. They
Yeah.
were like minutes away. And I'm
Well, you
Yeah,
like,
don't, he,
and
he
six-
wouldn't have known that. There is no way he could have known that they were minutes away at that point. And
Yeah, and
again,
6 million other Jews felt the same way. They
yeah.
were that close to.
Yes, but and then I like the tank part at the end where they actually spoke English.
well, you
I
didn't
think
want
that
the,
was I think that was an Italian actor and he was dubbed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a little hard to go from such humor and comedy. And yes, while there was humor in the other part, it was just such a difference in the movie for me.
Well, I think that I think Benigni balances it. There's nothing in there that's like, there's no Mel Brooks humor in this film. Mel Brooks humor is all, crass
Yeah,
humor
this
that
was
it
all
throws against
very
the wall. This is
sweet
more
and-
like, this is Chaplin with the Great
Yeah.
Dictator all over again. But in a slightly different manner. So
Yeah, it's all very sweet and you
Yes.
kinda- you smile a little bit for sure, but I don't think anything made me laugh out loud.
The eggs,
Thanks.
I would give it a 3 stars.
Okay,
Sure.
let's talk to our other Jew, Aim.
I had seen this movie. I remember loving it when it came out.
Yeah, me too.
I loved Roberto Benigni at the Oscars. I could still see him jumping across the
Yeah.
seat. It was adorable. I had a big smile yesterday when they were talking to the guy with the hat who owned the store or whatever. And he said, "How were your kids?" And his kids were Benito and Adolfo. I thought that was really cute. And what I completely forgot was the very end of the movie that we see it's being told to us by the kid. I loved that. But you guys pretty much said everything. I did think all throughout, come on, this could never happen, So I'm going to give it 3.25 stars because I really enjoyed it back then. So I'm including that memory. I did find it a little slow.
You're averaging out.
Yeah.
That would be
Frank-
3 stars, then was 3.5, so 3.
you know what? I bumped me up to 3.25 with Amy.
The nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
Wins
Frank,
out.
how many stars did you give it?
3. I probably would have given it 3.5 stars in 1998 as well. Mark, not a fun movie.
Well, I'm glad you guys jumped it up because I'm giving it 3.25 stars. However, this is the first time in the last 2 years that I've been in this club that I have not watched the movie this week for personal reasons, as you guys know. Not only did I not have the time, I didn't want to watch a movie like this week. I watched fun, silly movies to make me laugh. But I have seen the movie before, so I'm gonna give my review based on my 2004 viewing of the movie. And I will say that it was, I remember it being funny and touching, sweet but sad, a love story about a Holocaust movie. I remember him specifically calling her Principatia a lot. And that
Oh,
was
I forgot to say that was such a huge thing in '98. Everybody became Principatia.
right.
I
And
loved that.
so, and I watched this in 2004 when Danielle and I were engaged. So I started calling her that, of
Aw.
course. So, and she's
Aw.
Italian. So it all worked at the time. I remember really liking this movie, even though, as you guys are saying it more and more, I'm going by my memories of it. I don't remember it being so unbelievable, but now that you're saying it, I can kind of, if I had rewatched it now, I'm sure I would be saying the same thing as you guys and possibly.
Yeah, I know that. Can't help it right now. So
I guess all I have to say is that Roberto wins the World's Greatest Dad Award. I wish I will watch it again, and Danielle was even saying the same thing. Like maybe in a few weeks we'll go back and rewatch this one, but just wasn't ready for it this week. But I think this was a solid entry in 1998. Not sure that it really should have won Best Picture, my
Best
memory
foreign
of
film. It didn't win Best Picture.
right. But I know, Amy, you said you thought it was adorable. I remember being kind of dickish when he won, and wasn't he walking over people? He was like stepping on the shoulders.
Yeah,
But he was stepping on the seats of the
Yes.
chair. He wasn't
Well,
on the
good.
people's bodies.
I thought he was.
I think he put his hands on people to balance.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
all. boy,
and
boy.
the following year, when he came out to announce the Best Actress awards, Billy Crystal was standing behind him with a giant butterfly net,
Yeah.
just in
Just in
case he
case.
went nuts. So
That's good. That's Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
All right. And that was Mark's 9-year-old review of a movie.
19-year-old. Yeah.
19. Wow.
19-year-old review. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I probably liked it more then, and looking at it yesterday, I wasn't quite as enamored of it. Joel's back.
Hey.
Joel's front. All right, any last comments? That's it? Yeah.
What's next week?
Well, Life is Beautiful is on Paramount Plus if you have that, or you can rent it from Prime for $2.99. Next week, we are covering the Coen Brothers, one of their earliest works called Raising Arizona, which is a comedy. And it was a pretty big deal at Fox when I was at Fox. That was what, 1987? Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's available on Hoopla. Do you know what Hoopla is? Hoopla is a streaming service available from your local library. So you can stream something from your library. Not every library has every title, so you should check hoopla.com. This is a public service announcement from libraries.
And you
All
can
right,
watch
kids.
those.
I'm Frank Gaffney.
Hulu.
Watch a movie.
No, so
Bye.
Yeah.